I mean, we've all had those days. The days where you look back at the day itself and you wonder what has actually gotten done, right? You look at your to do list and you think to yourself, did I accomplish anything today? And that's a question that I have been grappling with and thinking about lately. And over the past few years, I have really worked on improving my habits, my routines, and my environment to be more productive. Like, not perfect productive, but more productive. I've often gotten caught, as I'm sure many of you have, where you are there and you're ready to task and get things done, and you get a little sidetracked and you start either going down the rabbit hole and hyper focusing on one thing and neglecting the rest of the list, or you avoid the list until the last minute and go through the chronic procrastination of things. And I found myself in both camps. And one of the ways that I sort of tried to right the ship for me, and that has worked, is thinking about it in terms of a notebook. For a long time, I would keep my to-do list on post-it notes. There was something nice about getting it out onto the post-it note. It was small enough, and I would capture the day's to-do list, probably like most days were like the morning of, and I would capture it onto a post-it note and I would walk around with these all day long, and then I would put them into notebooks, and I would have them hanging out in these notebooks, thinking to myself that it was going to help me get things done. And in fact, they actually did help me get things done. The problem was they were loose or weren't contained in one area and didn't have a way for me to think back on checking in on those to-dos to make sure that they actually got to done. So what I came up with was sort of researching everything that's out there, and I wanted to be the sort of person that woke up in the morning and was able to do some writing. And I couldn't really get myself into the habit of writing like everything that was in my head or this stream of consciousness, right? But I was able to sort of package it in a way where I actually felt like I got writing done, not in a formal, like, I'm a writer kind of way, but in a productive way that says, yes, I actually got some writing done this morning. So what I came up with was left pages. These pages where I would have this sort of way to focus my energy and think through my day in a way that set me up for everything to come. So that helped, right? And my left pages are pretty simple and straightforward. Starts off with gratitude as one big bucket. Typically 3 lines of gratitude, get that done, boom, boom, boom. Then there is greatness. How do I want to show up? What would make today great? How would I reflect and say, you know what? That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. And so I have about 3 or 4 lines that I capture about what would make today great. And that could be anything from showing up at a meeting and really just being a curious learner, and I would write that down, or perhaps participating and being able to advocate for myself at a meeting or something like that, right? The next line is attention, right? So like, what are all the things that have my attention right now in the morning? And it could be anything from getting new license plates, which, by the way, I still haven't done, or renewing my license, which I actually did do that. So it could be those sort of things, baseball practice, or things that are going to come later. When I dump all of those things out that are in my head, I feel a little bit more freed up to focus on my day. And then the last part of my left pages are quotes or affirmations that are guiding my work or my thinking in that moment. Could be quotes or lines that are coming from my head. Could be quotes or lines from something I'm reading and that I've got to do a little bit more thinking about. Those left pages, if you will, make me feel like a writer. So there it is, right? And I'm showing you just the template version here because your notebook should be specific to you. Now, all in all, this left side page in the morning takes roughly 4 minutes, 5 minutes tops, right? And then I get into my reading, and there's a whole routine that goes with that. But I just want to talk about the notebook and the left pages, and then I added, yes, you can imagine, I added right side pages. So I've got left side pages for the morning, and I've got right side pages for the evening. And I wanted to find a way to make both of these times short, under 5 minutes, right? That's it. And I read through Dan Pink's book, When, and he talks about the power of productivity and showing up and feeling like you've gotten things done in a way that makes you feel like you're working towards progress. So, I had to think about my to-do list. My to-do list specifically lives in digital format, and I will explain how I get at some of that digital work in the to-do list and capture that between my phone and my work laptop. But for now, I just want to talk about my evening routine and the 5 minutes I spend reflecting on my day, thinking about progress and productivity. So when Dan Pink talks about the power of noting your progress and really capturing that, he talks about it as a way of you showing up to the workplace in a little bit more of a joyful or happy mood because you're acknowledging all the things that you've gotten done. So this is a simple sort of routine that I put in place in the evening. After I've done my left side pages in the morning, I focus on my right side pages in the evening, and it's as simple as looking back on my to-do list and thinking about and listing all of the things that I actually got accomplished. Listing it out and looking back and reading it and saying, yes, at 8 o'clock I was able to deliver that lesson, or at 12 o'clock I was able to batch my email, and at 3 o'clock I was able to prepare for the end of the day and wrapping up with students and colleagues, or at 5 o'clock prepared for the baseball practice, and at 7 o'clock we delivered that baseball practice. That list of things that I would note at the end of an evening, it's a way for me to look back on all that happened in a day and think about how that progress can build going into tomorrow. Now, that routine doesn't take as long as you think. It takes me about 2 minutes to probably do. So you're asking, what do I do with the other 3 minutes? Well, I'm not sitting there vegging out and doing anything. I spend those 3 minutes developing the to-do list for tomorrow. So there you go. Bonus points you get if you finish that list of productivity in your right side pages in the evening, and under 3 minutes, you have time left over to actually prepare your to-do list for the next day. Now, I'll say this, in all honesty, like this is for real, like real talk here. When I list these things out, I actually put myself on the clock for the 5 minutes. I don't want it to go longer. I don't want this to be something that takes me more than 5 minutes. The whole purpose for me doing this was to set up my left side pages so that I have clarity and focus going into my day, and a way at the end of the day to list all of the accomplishments so that I can reflect on my progress and build that progress into the next day. That's it. So it's left side pages in the morning, right side pages in the evening, and that is my routine. Now, I'm not showing you any of the examples because your notebook, as my notebook, should be private and specific to you. If you have a way that you are setting up your day for clarity and focus, I want to hear about it. If you're shutting your day down by reflecting on things that have actually occurred and have gotten accomplished, and it is helping you, I want to hear about that too. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what your morning routine is for writing or getting yourself clear and focused, and your evening routine for reflecting. I want to hear about what's working for you and if there's anything I should add. And while you're at it, leave me a comment, like this video here if you found some value. And if you could, help me out with the channel and share it, and let me know what you think personally by subscribing to the channel itself. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for all you do.